Hello. Hi, it's so good to see you. Hello, how are you? I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking. Long time no see. I think the last time I filmed one of these was November, maybe, I think. Early December, I think November. I needed a break. Well, actually I didn't need a break. No, I did. I keep contradicting myself. I needed a little bit of a break because I was feeling overwhelmed with life a bit and like lost again. I don't like that feeling of lost. And I think I've talked about it before on here, like feeling like I'm just in the abyss. And so I was like, I need to confront that. And I was having some changes happening in my life at the time. So I was like, we're gonna bounce back and get back to this. But I'm proud of myself because I have a habit of starting things, not finishing them, and then kind of taking the perspective of like, no one's gonna miss this like little ditty I did. No one's gonna care. And then, oh, because this is what was happening. I actually remember why. I was having a big change in my life and I was like, I'm gonna get depressed about this. Right, so I was like, I need to like take a second to realize like, oh, I'll tell you, wait. So here's what was happening. I don't know why I'm speaking really vague on here because there's just no point. Because if you're listening or watching this, you're just gonna be like, okay, like, and then your brain goes to, oh my God, someone died. No, it died. It's fine. It's actually so like not a big deal when I tell you what it is. But because I've talked about my loneliness when I first moved to the city, and what's been so helpful is like joining things, like book clubs and things like that. And my acting class was such a good standing thing for me to do every week that allowed me to be social with minimal commitment. You know, like I didn't have to like plan a hangout. I could just like go be social because there's this thing I was paying to do, and so obviously I was gonna go every time we had class, and it was a standing thing I was doing, and it ended in December, and I've been doing it for a year, and my life has changed drastically from January 2025 until December. Like insanely, it's changed so much, and it wasn't until I thought about it I realized how much. And so when my class was ending, I was really getting scared, like panicky, that I was gonna get back to the same place I was in January 2025, where outside of my class, there was no other consistency in my life. Everything else was just kind of here, there, and everywhere. Every other area of my life. I was really panicky and stressed about that. And so I was like, I need to take a break from doing this show and doing this thing because I want to make sure I don't like catch on fire. I don't know, like when I have to, you know, I think I started to associate so much stability with this class, which I know seems random and out of nowhere, but like when you feel like your life is kind of anywhere but where you want it to be, that becomes like a huge stressor. But anyway, I digress. I was like, I'm gonna take a break. And then if I'm fully honest with myself, a part of it was also like embarrassment because no one was like really listening to this, which is fine because it just started and it's okay to have humble, small beginnings. But no one was like listening to this, and so I was just like, yeah, no one listens to this. Like, why am I doing this? And not realizing that I can do stuff just for me, and that's okay, because that's what art is. It doesn't necessarily always have to be consumed. Art is for the artist just as much as it is for the audience. So yeah, art for art's sake. So it's okay I'm making this and no one ever listens to it except for like, I don't know, my closest people, of which there's 3, you know. But anyway, yeah, so there was like embarrassment that crept up because I hadn't come back to that lesson that I had learned. And so I was like, I am too aware that people might see this, have no clue like what I'm doing, and like laugh at me, you know, like point and laugh, ha ha, loser. And so I was like, I don't like that, and so I don't want to do it anymore. And so that's also part of the reason why I stopped, and that all those feelings were all coming at the same time in like December. So I was like, I'm just gonna stop doing it, and it's December, and December is the month of doing nothing because it's holiday season all day every day. And then when I went home from break, it was the best time home. I wrote a Substack article about it. Go read if you want on here. But I had the best time ever and was just full of like joy and love and like remembering what home is, and it just had me thinking a lot about what is home and all those woo emotional stuff. But anyway, one of the highlights of that trip was I saw a bunch of friends, but, and not even joking, in each friend that I saw, at one moment, at one point, at least once, someone would go, and oh my God, your podcast. And oh my God, your podcast. And oh my God, your podcast is the funniest thing, right? And oh my God, I've rewatched clips. And oh my God, your podcast makes me laugh. And I want to thank all of my friends who said that to me. Because not to get sappy, okay? But we know I'm the queen of sap. But I needed to hear that because I was so, like, subconscious. So I needed to hear, like, it makes me laugh, I miss it, come back. Or I miss it and because this is so tea. Some people, like, here in New York, I had met, like, wanted to follow me on TikTok. Like, we had exchanged TikToks. I don't know why that's on Instagram, but whatever. We'd exchanged TikToks. And I suddenly was like, they're gonna see my podcast on there because I post clips on there. And I was like, I have to like private everything. So I privated all my TikTok clips. And so one of my friends, when I saw her, was like, oh my God, I go back to that clip and laugh, like one of them. It makes me laugh so hard, but it like went away. I don't know what happened. And I was like, it's kind of, it's like the age-old thing where everyone says this, where they're like, we're always so focused on who might laugh or make fun of us or like hate what we're doing, that there's not enough focus on people because they're often like very silent about their support. They're like, love what she's doing, it's funny. And I think that was me, and that was just like really reassuring. And it happened, like, not even joking, 4 other times. We're like, in your podcast, and oh my gosh, your podcast makes me laugh. And it would be friends that I haven't seen in ages, and they're like, because it's like you're there and we don't get to see each other often, so it's like my opportunity to like see you and like hear about you and what's going on in your life, and it's super like sweet and special. So yeah. And then just yesterday, I'm filming this on like January 20th. It's been like 2 months since I filmed an episode, I'm so sorry. But I got a text from another one of my friends from college, and she goes, oh my God, just found out you had a podcast. And I was like, do you know it's time to get back in it? Because the people yearn for it, quite frankly. The people yearn for it. The people being just my immediate friends, but so they yearn for it. And so it's gonna be done. And I also have so much fun doing this. And I was productive in this 2-month break because I've practiced editing. Yep. I can't edit quite well yet, but I can jump in between long pauses. So there should be less of those this time. Get excited. Yapping is a skill and I'm growing in it. But yeah, I'm grateful to be back. One of the first topics I want to discuss today, though, is stress and how to decompress and self-care. This is something that is beat down like a dead horse on TikTok and every social media platform and in life. And even though it's talked about all the time, I don't think it's talked about with enough of the depth and nuance that it requires. Not that I have the depth and nuance to discuss it properly. I'm not gonna do that, actually. I'm just gonna critique other people. It's my favorite thing to do without actually like taking part in the conversation, because I also don't have the capacity or the nuance or knowledge to do so, which is what everyone does on social media now, and I will be a part of that by doing that today. You're welcome. But I got back to work this week, or I got back to work on the 5th. What am I talking about? Wow. Talk about blacking out in your life. Because I started coming back to work on the 5th of January, and I simply blacked out for the last 2 weeks. I've been back to work for a while. Anyway, this week we have these big events happening this Saturday, and whenever this releases, I don't know, but Saturday. And when I tell you I've been swamped with the amount of things to do, and it that I haven't probably been decompressing or have been able to properly decompress at home, which is tea I'll get into another day. And so because of that, I have been on the brink, quite frankly. Like, I woke up this morning and it's like 8 a.m. now. So I woke up at like 6:45 and looked at my email, and the amount of things being sent my way, I almost started crying. Talk about waking up first thing and crying. I haven't done that since I was 15 and depressed. Waking up first thing and crying. And then there's something that happens when you, like, as an artist, or like anyone who sees himself elsewhere, right? Like, this doesn't have the longevity that you imagined for your career. Like, this is not where you want to be forever. It's also so hard to take it seriously sometimes, because it's like, I'm taking on this stress because maybe this event or whatever's happening requires this amount of stress, but also I just don't see myself here long enough that there's a level of care that I don't have for it, that when I'm working around other people that they do. And I know that's so messed up to say, but it's true. There's like a disconnect. Though I'm a very hard worker and I care very deeply, there is that disconnect that still exists, and I don't know how to describe it to people. But if you understand, you understand. It's like, I care about the work, but again, because you see yourself elsewhere, there's something that happens when you like reach your height of stress that you're like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? And like, what am I doing? Why am I here? And your question, like, stress at work becomes less of like, oh, this is stressful at work, let's like gossip about it with our coworkers and with our like spouses, but it becomes more of a, what is my life? I am so far from like where I need to be, what's happening, and it turns into an existential thing, and it's insane. Anyway, so I was having that this week, and actually just now, like 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, I was crying. So yeah. So I also wanted to make this because this is always like cathartic for me to like sit and talk and, I don't know, like just be outside of myself, or no, not actually be outside of myself. To do something that allows me to center myself and my art, even if that art is just talking forever. So yeah. So work is work, and I don't want to talk about it. And I'm not hungry. I don't want to talk about it. I left my notifications on while I'm filming this, and they just keep coming in. Another reminder that I don't want to talk about it. Something I do want to talk about, oh my God, is French onion soup. Let's get into that, because last night it's been like 20 degrees, 17 degrees in New York. And little country bumpkin Kayla has been really struggling with the weather, and I feel like I got sick one time in the fall, but since then, knock on wood, I've been able to like skirt any like sickness, right? And everyone around me is like sick and like has stuff, but I've been able to like, you know what I mean? And yesterday though, I felt that maybe this is like, what's it, Munchausen by proxy? What's that thing that girl had, or that the girl's mom had? You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if I have that or like what's going on. Well, no, I don't have that. I don't know what it is, but I was just like, oh, I feel the inkling of maybe a throaty thing, I don't know. Because everyone loves to be around me when they're sick. Oh, anyway. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get some soup. And there is a restaurant right by my job that does like discounts for the people that work in the building that I work in. And I was like, perfect. And I'm gonna go get some soup there. They had great soup, a great lineup of soup, chicken noodle, lentil, the classics, tomato, you know what I mean? So I was like, yes, get me one. The other soup on that list was French onion soup. I will get into this in a moment, or maybe I won't, but I've been on a health journey. Maybe this is a next episode thing, but I've been on a health journey, and I've been trying to eat better. And so I've been very, trying to make good decisions. So lately when I want soup, which is a lot in the winter, I've been getting chicken noodle from the same place, not this place, another place that also does a discount, because I love a discount. I love a sale, you know what I'm saying? And I get chicken noodle, and that's satisfied me, right? And it's kept me skinty, tight, where I need to be. Not that the end goal for everything is to be skinny, but it's made me feel still on track with my health goals. And I was like, I'm gonna be different today. Because on the website, the picture of the French onion soup looked good. I've never had French onion soup because the idea of it sounds disgusting, right? And most pictures of it is actually not really appealing at all. But this picture was. And maybe I was just really hungry because I had made a poor decision and didn't pack enough food because I was running out of the house. I really hadn't eaten anything of substance yet. So I was ravenous. And so the French onion soup looked like a juicy burger from Shake Shack. You know what I mean? I was like, I need this thing right now and nothing else. Nothing else. Don't even bring up the idea of Chick-fil-A to me. Don't bring up Shake Shack. Don't bring up any other alternative, a bagel, God forbid. Don't bring up anything to me that I usually would actually enjoy. I want this, not even the chicken noodle. I want this French onion soup now. I want it now. I go in and I'm like, boop, 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 at the end of my work day, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit cozy up at home because I got out of work a little bit early, and I am going to my French onion soup. I order it. I get my discount of course. I get my French onion soup, and I head home. When I get home, I just done a really long walk from the office. So I was like, I am ready to sit down and have the soup. I pop it open. I get my plastic spoon. I dip it in, and I start drinking it. And when I say, and I don't say this lightly, so I want you to really hear me when I say this. When I say that French onion soup was maybe the worst thing I've ever consumed. And consumed is the important word here, right? Because I've consumed cough medicine. Do you know what I mean? And it's still not as bad as the French onion soup I ate yesterday. It was so bad that I physically recoiled when it hit my tongue. I was like, ooh, this is bad. Is this illegal? Is this legal to be eating? Is this food actually? I was questioning everything. I was like, actually when I looked at it, I was like, oh, they gave me the wrong soup. And then I opened it, popped it open, grabbed my spoon. I was like, nope, this is onion. This is onion and broth, and it feels very French to me. So I guess this is it. And my God, it was deplorable. And I was making myself, because I had this image of my brain because, well, we might have to get into this, but I caved and got a Kindle. Yes, and for years I was so anti-Kindle because I was like, I want a physical book. And I only believe in physical books, which is hilarious because I have no room in my apartment nor my room to have all these books, and I've moved every year since I've lived here, so I probably need to be pretty compact, but I like physical books. So this is by far the best purchase ever in terms of just efficiency purposes. But anyway, I had this image in my head of me sitting down with my Kindle reading, because I have a goal of reading 2 books a month this year, that I'm sitting settled, reading my great book and eating my wonderful French onion soup. Well, sans the French onion soup, you know what I mean? And the French onion soup was so bad, I truly could not lock in and enjoy my book. This book, it's Emily Henry, so classic. I always enjoy her rom-com cute stuff. So I couldn't even enjoy this good book I was reading because my soup, my French soup, was ruining the book I was reading. It was so gross. And so I immediately put it away and make dinner. I make actually dinner, because whatever the hell that was wasn't gonna work. I make actual dinner and I eat it. and I go back to my room and I try to decompress. I can't. It's chaos in here. I didn't, but then I eventually was like, I'm gonna try to eat the soup again. And I go and I reheat the soup up. I don't know why I did this. I have like this habit, and I need to work on this, where I like don't trust my initial judgment. I was like, maybe I was just like tired. I don't know why I think I would be less tired 3 hours later, but maybe I was just tired the first time I tried the soup. So I reheat the soup. I try it again. Worse. It's worse than I even remembered. Oh my God. French onion soup is so bad. It's gross. It's gross. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. And if you eat that, do you know what I mean? Okay. I'm not gonna judge you. It's 2026, but I just think it's indicative of maybe deeper things you might have going on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's just like my biggest life update. That was really, really uncomfortable and scary for me. Otherwise though, I'm fine. I think I'm on the brink, and I woke up on the brink, and something told me to film this because this might make me feel better, and it did a little bit, so I appreciate that. Next episode, because I think I'm back. I think we're settled and we're back. Next episode, I'm gonna talk about my new health journey and how I'm feeling about that and how it's going, and maybe I'll talk more about my Kindle because I really like it. And I've been reading at least a smidge more. The month's almost over though, and I haven't finished one book because I've been so stressed, but we're gonna lock in. And also next episode, I'm gonna talk about my dance film that I'm doing, which is exciting, and I'm excited to do that and talk more about it. But anyway, thanks so much for listening, and for letting me go away. And I'm happy to be back. This podcast and writing and dance and acting and all those things are so cathartic for me. They're my artistry and they're what I want to do professionally. All of these things also settle me when nothing else in my life feels very settled, and I appreciate it a lot. And art's really important, and so is doing things for yourself. And perhaps this in its own way is self-care. Probably is. Like, by definition it probably is. Anyway, to address the elephant in the room, we're using my digital camera today as a microphone because the budget has increased a bit with the editing, but not quite where it needs to be yet. But we're working on it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.